Consider this a follow-up to the part of the Game 6 recap video in which I said we were going to talk more about Sam Bennett. It's not just going to be about Sam Bennett. It's going to be about a vital lesson I think the Flames must take forward in finishing this retool, rebuild, whatever you want to call it, as well as in developing the youth movement we are seeing come into the team, whether it's at the pace you would like it to be or not. Sam Bennett, in his 6 years with the Calgary Flames, whatever you think of him, had 5 coaches. 5 different approaches, and 5 different voices aiding in his development as a hockey player and a 4th overall pick. That is wild to me. No wonder there were stumbling blocks in his development. There was no consistency, no continuity in what he was hearing from the coaching staff. He started under Bob Hartley in 2015, who won Coach of the Year, and, in my opinion, deserved more than 1 season after this, and who was fired after the team failed to meet expectations in 2016. He was followed by Glenn Gulutzan, and the results were mediocre. 1 sweep and 1 missed playoffs. We had Jeff Ward, who had the 2019 finished first in the West and flame out in the first round. And then a miss after the COVID bubble. We finished with Bill Peters being fired mid-season for some detrimental actions with the players, followed by Daryl. Now, you may notice, especially near the end of this timeline, Sam Bennett's numbers drop to the bottom of the ocean. He went from an 18-goal player in his first year under Glenn Gulutzan to somebody who was barely scraping 5 goals by the end of his time here. For whatever reason, as the coaching changes happened, Sam had less and less trust within the coaching staff. Some of that was inconsistency, and I'm not sure why that was there, but I do believe his development was absolutely stifled by having a new coach and changes to the system and changes to the dynamic in the locker room 5 times over his tenure. And by the time Daryl had enough of him, he had had enough of here, and he was gonna take his talents somewhere else no matter what. Was he ever what he's been for the Panthers, except in brief flashes? No. Did we put him in a position to succeed? No. And here's where the main lesson of my video is coming in. We are seeing, in the previous season, a team that dramatically resembles that team in 14-15 that, by all accounts, overachieved with the personnel that it had, and has a youth movement beginning, and there is lots of reason for optimism. What we cannot see is stagnation of 1 year in, 1 year just barely out. That cycle can't happen again. What needs to happen is consistent progression. Now, that doesn't have to be in the standings this first couple of years. There are additional tools required, wherein if it becomes a fact of life that the team is not good. I will not be upset if we end up with a lottery pick in the next 2 seasons. What cannot happen is a cycle of coaches changing because they're not meeting the expectations set by this first year in the retool. We're gonna see what happens here, but if there is a major drop off next year, it should not mean the firing of Ryan Huska. Ryan Huska should be given 3 to 4 seasons consistently to see where he can take the growth of this team after last year. He's been around for a little bit. It should be measured after last year. We need consistency to grow the Bristeviches, the Pereks, the Wolves, whoever else comes into the lineup, Gridden, Battaglia, Muse. We need a consistent environment for these prospects to grow and prosper. We cannot have the coaching carousel in Calgary again and hope to grow to where we want to get to.